on drugs, war on addiction. It's hell. If you've been in that battle, you totally understand. Hey, I'm Paul A. And if you're listening to this right now, you might be early in recovery or years into it. Who knows? Or maybe you have a loved one that is struggling and you're just trying to understand what actually helps. This is the very first episode of this podcast, so welcome. Let me tell you why it exists. Recovery didn't change. The systems changed, and that changed everything. Today, recovery is more accessible, more connected, and more practical than it's ever been. But information alone, no, that doesn't keep people clean and sober. You know what helps? Structure does. Meaning does. Purpose does. It's all about building simple, repeatable systems. One day at a time. That's what I found out. And that's what I give to you. The best practices that give you the best chance to create a long and sober recovery life. We're going to talk about real principles like surrender, responsibility, honesty, all those things that bite at first. But these ideas actually show up in our daily life. So we need to practice them. Morning routines, boundaries, community, thinking patterns. What works and what quietly trips people up. That's what we're going to be doing here. And I'm not going to be preaching about it. I'm here to share what I've learned, what I've seen, what has worked, and what gives people momentum. If you're looking for perfection, well, guess what? I'm not it. But if you're looking for progress and you're in the right place, let's get right into it. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Paul, recovery date is February 17th, 1989. But my first meeting that I ever went to was in June of 1980. I like to say I have 9 years of how it doesn't work. And that's why I think it's so important. I get to show you both sides of the coin. I can share you my experiences of what it was like not being able to stay clean and sober, what it was like when everybody around me could use and I couldn't, what it was like when it was so frustrating because I had no friends, I had no life, but I knew that if I went back to that life of using, I wasn't going to survive. And this is some of the things I'm going to share with you because I have a vast library over 4 decades of experiences that I can draw upon today. That's the only difference between me and the individual that's starting out. If you're starting out, there's no difference between me and you. Except I have 4 decades to draw upon. You may only have a day or 2, and that's good because you too will be building your library. So we're going to get into some of that because I want to talk about how not to destroy your life and how to actually build one. How to figure out what it's all about. Because you can't just run away from your problems. No, I found out you can't just run away from drugs and alcohol and that pain and suffering. Although we want to, you got to have something that draws you in, something to look forward to, something to run towards, something that will bring happiness, joy, and meaning to your life and to your day, because we stay clean and sober one day at a time. And I've learned that staying sober is abstinent, is staying necessary, don't get me wrong. But unless you build a day that will maximize the chances for you to find happiness and peace, you won't survive it. You'll get frustrated. You'll give up. You'll quit. So we're going to talk about how to build a life in recovery. We're going to talk about to sustain a life in recovery. We're going to talk about learning every single day. And we're going to talk about living and how we can learn to love every minute of it. You know, like I said, a lot of my wisdom, if you want to call it that, is simply experience. You know, when I was 12 years in recovery, 12 years of abstinence, 12 years of working 12-step programs, I went through a divorce and it almost killed me. And from that, I learned that you can never have enough resources, that you can never know enough, because what kept me clean and sober yesterday may not keep me clean and sober tomorrow. So the idea of having purpose, having a community, having resources to pull you through is what's so important. And through showing up and creating responsibilities, creating routines and purpose, that is the key, my friend, to set up a day that gives you the greatest opportunity to stay sane, serene, and sober. Today we call upon setting up systems. That's what it's all about. We're going to call it setting up systems to help you succeed. Then finally, through loving every minute of it, you're going to become the person you've always wanted to be. You're going to become the person that brings you joy and happiness, and you'll not want to use. You'll want to stay clean, sober, and part of the recovery community. So here's what you can expect from this podcast going forward. Mostly it's just about me reflecting, sharing lessons, talking honestly about what life in recovery looks like. Occasionally, hopefully, I'll have some guests. Maybe they'll tell their story. They'll share their tools and techniques about how living in recovery is the best thing and how they learn to live their best lives without chasing attention, without, the hype. Just clear, straightforward talk about our mental health, relationships, purposefulness, discipline, boundaries, right, are huge in recovery. And it's all going to be done in a straightforward way. So I hope that this podcast will bring value to you. And if you're listening today and you've heard something that you could relate to, please let me know in the comments. I'm really looking forward to meeting you. I love making new friends and catching up with all my old ones. You know, I've had the opportunity to participate in recovery meetings throughout the whole United States and even some in a few other countries. And it's really a joy to meet people. And the basics and foundations of recovery is all the same. So if you want to build a life you actually want to live, wonderful. If you are here just to stay sober one more day, great. There is no judgment. All are welcome. This is an invitation to walk together in the spirit of true peer support, because that's what I am. I'm a peer specialist trained in the state of Wisconsin. I'm also went through the CCAR Recovery Coach program, and I've learned through all that. Plus, like I said, I've got all those lived years experience, and that's what makes what I'm going to share with you guys unique and valuable, I hope. But I want to make something very clear. I am a guide. I am not a guru. And as a peer specialist and recovery coach, my core principles are to work with you, not for you. I'm not going to do it for you. I will help you. I will support you with your decisions with honest, constructive feedback to help you find healthy boundaries. Once again, if this resonates and you want to be part of this, please reach out to me. We'll get you on the email list and we'll figure this out together. And if you found this interesting, please share it with somebody you know. If you know somebody that's struggling in recovery, a family member, right? Because we're not just going to talk to the addict, we're going to talk to the whole family, because it's a family disease. And working together, we get better, we get healthier. And the important thing is we get to break the cycle so our children don't have to live in the hell that we did, right? Because it was hell. Let's be honest. Living in active addiction and alcoholism is not only hell on you, it's hell on your family, and it's no way anybody should live. And that's why I'm here. I'm tired of watching people suffer, and I want to do my little part to help them grow. So if you're willing to write your own story in recovery, and you want to be the hero of your life and the hero of your family, then keep coming back to the Lucky and Sober podcast, Life in Recovery. Thanks for being here. Please share, subscribe, and together we will make things better. And the most important person remember this, the most important person that's going to talk to you today is you. So make sure you say something positive. Be well, be good to yourselves, my friend, because you deserve it.